Hello there, Charlie. What's new?
Hi, CEAZOR. I saw a beautiful rainbow today.
Really? Wow, rainbows are beautiful. Why don't you tell me about it?
Well, rather, I'll let my little friend tell you about it. See you around, CEAZOR.
Hello, CEAZOR. I'm his friend. First, he was red on the top. Red like a juicy, ripe apple. Then, he was orange. Orange like the sweetest... Blah, 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 blah.
Hello and welcome to Caesar's Snack Sandwich. Today we're on Binance Smart Chain taking a look at Ellipsis Finance. Now Ellipsis Finance is a automated market maker. So it's a place where you can come to swap one coin for another coin. Now this is a protocol that's based on the Curve Finance protocol. So they generally deal with coins that are pegged to the same price. So currently there are two pools. Are both based on the US dollar pool. So they have this 3 pool and this FUSDT pool. Now there's a lot of things going on here. So let's go over to here. So we have the base APY. These are basically like the trading fee APY based on if you put tokens in here, how much trading fees are you going to get from them? And then here are some rewards that they're giving to you. So the rewards in EPS tokens. Now EPS token is the token of this protocol. Just like Curve has CRV tokens, the Ellipsis has EPS tokens. Okay, so they incentivize these pools. They want more money inside. So they reward people who put money in with EPS tokens. I will talk a lot more about these when I go to this tab over here. And this pool here is currently also incentivized with ICE tokens. So if you go to the Popsicle Finance, you can see that the pool is here, FUSD plus the 3 pool token. So this is a single liquidity pool token. You bring it here, you stake it here, and you get ICE and you get EPS. Now, if you were to stake it into the Ellipsis, you would also get the same ICE and EPS. So they're kind of using the same contract on the blockchain, but they're allowing you to access through both of the user interfaces. So let's go into the pool and let's check what it looks like if we wanted to deposit and so forth. So here we are in the pool, and here we could swap if we wanted based on this pool, or we could go to deposit and we could deposit the tokens that we had. Let's say we had some of these tokens, we could put 100 or 1000, and we could also put maximum of the tokens you have in your wallet. I currently don't have any of them, so they don't show up anything here. Now this is the important thing, but deposit wrapped. If you click this, you notice that it's actually allowing you to deposit the 3 EPS token. So that's the liquidity pool token for this 3 pool. So if you had supplied to this before, you could take your 3 pool LP, and if you wanted to, you could stick it in here and gain trading. Click this, you could stick it in here, deposit, and then stake that token for ICE and EPS tokens from this pool, from this incentivization. Okay? Now, if you had your 3 pool token, or if you had your token, your LP token in your wallet, you could come here to withdraw and you could pull back to the tokens that you wish. You could use any combination of the tokens that are in the pool, as long as there's a fair amount of each of them. Now you'd have to play around if you were going to do a massive amount of money, but you get the idea. You can pull out whichever token you want from the liquidity pool. Let's go back to root here. So if you had the LPs, like I said before, these 3 pool LPs, you could stick them in here. You see I have a few. I could stick it in here, but it's very little, so I don't bother to do it. And you could also stick the FUSD liquidity pool in here. So you could deposit in here and you would start to gain ICE and gain EPS, and you can claim these at any time here. Now, if you wanted to take all your money out, you would have to withdraw from here. So withdraw your stake LP, and then you would have to go back to that place I showed you just a second ago where you would pull out your tokens. Now, there is something key about this. You've noticed this says claim ICE. ICE can be claimed at any time. There's no problem with claiming ICE every day, every hour, as often as you like. But vesting EPS. Now, this is important. So let's go to stake and vest. Now, there's no actual docs for this protocol. There is a Medium article webpage, and there is a Telegram, so you can go to these places and ask lots of questions, or go to the Medium and read about it. But I couldn't find a docs. But there are quite a bit of things actually described right here in the user interface. You just have to look around and read things and see everything you need here. So this is the EPS token rules and the way it runs here. And this is slightly different than the way it runs on Curve Finance. So this is something that's actually important for people who are coming from Curve. So I will go through this a little bit slower. All the EPS tokens are vestable for 3 months. So they're locked for 3 months and you cannot claim them for 3 months. If you want to claim them early, then you will incur a 50% penalty. So if I have 100 tokens here and I want to claim them now, then I will only get 50 tokens. Okay? So what happens to those tokens? It says right here. Penalties are distributed continuously to locked stakers only. So I'll explain that down here. If you have some EPS tokens, you can stick them in here and stake them. And if you stake them, then you're going to gain some of the trading fees from the protocol itself. So currently it is 10.94. This number will change every time they write a block, I believe. I could be wrong. So you can stake your EPS tokens here and gain these trading fees. Now, if you stake and lock your EPS tokens for 3 months, then you're going to gain that same trading fees, that same share of the trading fees, plus you're going to gain these EPS tokens. Now, 1,800% is quite a bit. Now, I don't know if this is coming from any minting of these EPS tokens or whether or not this is purely based on these penalties. Now, I suspect that the penalties do play a large role in this because there are quite a few vaults out there like Beefy Finance that are harvesting these EPS tokens regularly and selling them to make EPs. So they're almost every few minutes or once an hour or so, they are harvesting these EPS tokens and selling them and using them to rebuild more LP tokens for these vault holders. So I think there's a lot of these 50% going into this pool here. So it's a pretty good idea to stake your EPS tokens in here. Now, the next tab here is quite important as well. So what is this talking about? This is the deal that Ellipsis made with Curve Finance, because Ellipsis is using Curve Finance's technology, and I believe Curve Finance is also kind of helping them and with questions or giving them some guidance at least. And as a result, what Ellipsis is doing is it's rewarding people who have staked CRV into the Curve platform. So let's go to Curve and look at that. So this is the place here. It says use CRV. If you provide liquidity on Curve, then you will gain CRV tokens. If you have CRV tokens, you stake them into Curve, then you are granted with VECRV tokens. Now this is a topic, Curve is a topic for another video, but you get the idea here. So if you have some VCRV tokens, then you are eligible to claim those tokens here. So you can come here, claim some EPS tokens and do with them as you please. You could sell them, or you could come here and stake them and lock them, or do whatever you want with them. But this option is here, okay? Now, last thing, let's go to risks. There are some important things to highlight. Ellipsis smart contracts are based on the Curve, which were audited by Trail of Bits. So Curve was audited by these Trail of Bits, and Curve has a very good track record. However, Ellipsis was slightly modified because this time lock vesting thing is not the way it works in Curve. So that's up to you to decide if it's safe or not. At least it's based on something that's got a very good track record. It does say here that it is completely fully decentralized and the admins have no access to your funds, so they can't move things around. This is something that an audit would have to check beyond just taking their word for it. So again, this is just what they say, but I believe them to the most part because Curve would probably speak up if this was not the case. And then you have permanent loss of the peg. So that's an important thing. Let's go back to this pool here. If you are to supply to any of these tokens, and let's say you were to supply USDC here, let's say you came with 10,000 USDC and you put it in here, then you are in essence exposing yourself to the risk of all three of these tokens. If the Binance US dollar token for some reason fails drastically, this pool will start to incur quite a bit of loss, as the robots will come in and start selling these tokens for these tokens, and you will slowly lose a lot of money. So you are exposed to the risk of these three tokens if you supply to this pool, and if you supply to this pool FUSDT, then you are giving yourself the risk of all four of these tokens. So that's something to consider when you are deciding whether or not you want to use this. I think that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about today. Like I said, I'm not going to go into every single little detail. I just want to give you an overview and kind of an idea of what's going on here. I think it's worth trying. As you can probably have seen, I do have a position inside here, and I'm happy with it. And I like the fact that Popsicle Finance is also incentivizing this pool. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.